My best life. Ooh, been through a lot and came out the other side. Holding my head up, yeah, on a high. Living my best life. Ooh.
Hey everyone, I'm Neah Inspired, and we're back at it. Unapologetically inspired voices, honey's outspoken words, inspired actions. Today, I'm with the amazing
Peter G, the one and only.
Hi, louder for the people in the back. It's like, hello, Peter G, in case you can't
Making sure my mic's working.
Hello, Justin. It's great to have you. It's great to have you here because I've had you on socials for a while, right?
For a while, yeah. It's good to be here, man. Thank you.
Yeah, love that. Big up, let's give a high five. Bloody hell. Fucking hell. I wasn't expecting that. Your tattoos are sick. What, you got it everywhere?
So they both go up to my legs here, up to my arms here, and I'm having like a back piece designed and a neck thing that's just gonna wrap round.
Wow, so is it like symmetric?
It's all with it, yeah, with the roses. Do you know what I mean?
Is that a lion up there?
Yeah, I've got lions.
Sick.
I've got a tiger on that leg. I've got
nice. You got a bear down there and all.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, you just get addicted to them, don't you? As they say.
Yeah,
When I first got one, and as soon as they first put the needle on me, I thought, "There's no way I'm getting addicted to this shit. This is hell."
Yeah.
Sitting there just getting battered for like 6 hours and not being able to do that about it. Yeah, I'm paying for a beating. Yeah. But then after a while, you just get used to it.
The red looks really great. That looks sick. Probably makes it pop, innit?
One of my mates said to me one time, he said, "If you carry on getting any roses, you look like a fucking flower bed on legs." So I was like, oh, mate.
No, they look really great, that red. How long ago did you get them?
It goes, doesn't it? It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks that eye's great. Aye, that's great. What? Yeah, so we've had each other on socials for a while, haven't we?
Yeah.
So tell us, what's your name? Where'd you come from, Cilla Black? What'd you do?
Cilla Black.
Is it Cilla Black? What's your name? Where'd you come from?
I ain't got a clue. I should know that as well.
You should do it at our age.
Yeah, so I'm Peter G on all social platforms.
Yeah, I'm going to tag you at the bottom.
Yeah, tag me at the bottom. I'm a lifestyle coach. I've got courses on like getting through breakups. I help you with your fitness, nutrition. I've got a mental health community. Yeah.
Amazing, man.
Yeah.
Right, so let's pull it all back. Because one thing that I believe that the most difficult paths lead to the most beautiful destinations.
100%.
Like, I'm a big believer in that. And I believe that, to really find the light and the joys and the beauties in life, you've got to go through feel some real darkness to be able to even differentiate between the two.
100%. And you know, when people ask me like what they always want to know what my story is, and they always want to know like this one defining moment that's changed, and I'm thinking, no, I could give you about 10.
Yeah,
I could give you like 10. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll get the fucking list out and show you loads of things that should have brought me in half.
Yeah.
They nearly did, and then I've ended up bouncing back, rebuilding myself. Yeah. It's just a constant up and down game. Do you know what I mean?
And I think that no matter what level or what stage you get to, like mentally, spiritually, in anything, it's always like that. I believe you can obviously use character building, your mindset can get stronger physically, all of that stuff. But trauma, pain, stress and stuff like that is a non-negotiable part of life, and it always will be. I think you just build a resilience to it, don't you?
Yeah. You won't say you become numb to it, but you just know, you know how to process it better.
Yeah.
So when you're going through some struggles now, if you've been through previous events that you can class as trauma and stuff like that, you know how to deal with it. And not only that, you've got that little confidence in the back of your mind, knowing that no matter how hard it gets, I've got through this, so I'm definitely going to get through this.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it gives you that fucking that resilience. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Me and my mate was saying that yesterday, actually, as well. She was saying about she done this. Someone recommended she done this thing. It's like a timeline thing of like the past 2 years or something like that. But of actually like visually writing down all the things that she'd achieved, like all the positive stuff. Because I think sometimes you can, and how empowering that is when you actually visually see, like, and then it's like, fucking hell, especially if you're going through something that could be a bit stressful or whatever, and you can feel like, oh, I've had enough, like,
That's what my mates do. My mates remind me, because I get lost in the process and the vision, and I'm dead hard on myself all the time, and I'm always like, what's next, moving the goalpost. Yeah. And then one of my mates will go, nah, you're doing really well, you're smashing it, man, I'm proud of you. And I'm like, I just feel like I'm a long way from where I want to be. And they're saying, but remember where you used to be. And I'm like, nah, because I'm not going that way, so I don't want to look backwards, because I'm not heading that direction. I'm looking forward, tunnel vision on a goal. But there saying like, but don't forget, remember this time. And then they'll remind me of a time when I was fucking down and out, depressed or whatever,
and
or
look
struggling.
at the progress from there.
Yeah. And it kind of, it is heartwarming, do you know what I mean? When you actually do reflect on how far you've come.
It is. And what they say is, it's like, you don't notice or see your progress, you know, but that's because you're always raising the bar.
100%.
And it's great to keep raising the bar, but you do have to take that time out here and there to be like, like, this is why I'm not extremely fulfilled yet or happy yet. It's because I'm raising the bar, not because of my lack of...
It's not It's not a lack of appreciation or gratitude. I just think because you know you've got when you know you've got it in you to push it further and to chase your dreams and things like that. I think it becomes like you're like uncomfortable with where you are. You're not letting yourself get content because like periods of our lives, probably you're guilty of it yourself. You get a bit too comfortable in a shit position. Do you know what I mean? And that, like, in itself, that's what scares me and keeps me getting out of bed early in the morning sometimes, because I think, because if I slip back down into comfort, I know exactly where I'm going to end up doing fuck all, and that feeling of fulfillment, or just fucking fly out the back.
I can't get down, darling. I struggle to get back up.
Do you
know what I mean? You got to keep it afloat and keep pushing, pushing, because it's hard graft sometimes. We're not up for all that, are we?
I know. No, you're right.
When did you start doing the like the life coaching and stuff like that? You got to spend time on your ass, darling. I mean, I'm up for it. You ain't.
No, you'll have to fill out a form, you. Do you know what? To be honest, I didn't even think I was gonna take it that far. Like, I've always wanted to be a coach and help other people because I'm good at it. You have to get to a point in life where you assess your gifts. Do you know what I mean? And
1,000,000%.
you have to actually look at, like, lay your cards out on the table and go, right,
so,
all right.
What are my strengths here? What
are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? And then you dissect it and come up with a plan of where you want to go.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I've said it before, like in another conversation, like I was never like really the sporty guy out of the bunch, do you know what I mean? And I've never really been good with like investments and things like that, like money falls through my fingers, so do you know what I mean? So I just thought, right, what am I going to do that's going to give me fulfillment as well as make a positive difference in the world, do you know what I mean? And I just thought, like, coaching's the way to go, but obviously, like, doing like motivational talks and stuff like that, like, you could go to me Instagram page and my social media page and just watch the free content, and the free content will change your life. You don't have to spend a fucking penny with me. That's not what my accounts are about. But if you do want to take it a step further, there's coaching available, there's courses available,
but you're not like
programs.
You're not like,
nah, I'm not ramming it down people's throat. I'm like, listen, I'll give you so much value on the front end. Then some people who come to me, like, who message me and want help and stuff like that, they've been following me for 2 years. Do you know what I mean? And they go, you know what, it's time. Everyone's got their own, you know what I mean, time scale of when they want to step in and actually change their life. I was guilty of it myself. I was just sat in the same rut forever, watching people from a distance before I actually invested in myself, got my own coaches, mentors and things like that. Because it takes a lot, especially for a man to ask for help, to reach out and go, you know what, I've not got it all fucking figured out. Can you help me? Do you know what I mean?
But
I just think if people open their minds up more to like coaching and things like that, your time collapse, your goals. Do you know what I mean? I just think you should just foot your ego off and then just actually pick a path and then look at someone who's a bit further on, whether even it's like somebody like with like lack of energy and things like that, who wants a mindset like yours. If you just tapped in and just been like, look, how did you, like, you know what I mean, just ask how it's done or whatever, or saying, can you teach me and things like that, you'd be happy to do it, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? Like,
and the reason, the main reason is because I know what it's fucking like to be in the shit mentally,
100%,
and in every way. I know what it's like to be banging trouble and like not know a way out or not have. And I find that help. I don't know if you agree, but I find that like empowering and helping and inspiring other people, it heals me as well. Little lost parts of me that everything that we
want to feel ourselves, we've got to give that away. Do you know what I mean? If we want to possess a certain feeling, we've got to be able to give it away to other people. Like, you know what I mean? If you want to be loved, the best thing to do is be loving. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
That's how it works. But yeah, I just think I think people should just be more open-minded to getting coaches and things like that, and actually reaching out, especially now we've got this tool, social media and the internet. Like, I know everyone tries to give it a bad name and slander in it. If you go in the comments, you'll think it's toxic.
It's because of how they use it. I think I dropped a clip about this the other day about social media, and it's like, it's such a powerful tool, but just if it's used the right way. You know, and it's such a powerful tool if you use it the right way and if you take it in the right way. But it's all about mindset, what you're putting into, what you're trying to achieve with it, how you're viewing things. And I think all of that depends on your understanding and your relationship with yourself.
It is exactly, your relationship with yourself's the most important relationship you'll have. Like
is.
if you're insecure and you're not happy with your current reality, if you pull up
Everything
your
around
app, you'll see someone who looks like they're living their best life, and you'll be measuring the gap between you and them, and that's where you'll find depression and fucking lack of fulfillment of things like that. And that's the worst thing you can use your social media for. I've done it. I've been absolutely flat broke, mate, watching people living it up abroad, and I'm just thinking, how the fuck are they there and I'm here? And I couldn't fathom it and figure it out, and it made me dead
depressed. Beat yourself up,
really, when I thought, no, it's obviously it's all going to come to me. I've just got to get on the right path myself and figure my shit out first. It's like, you don't think it's an internal problem because you're looking outwardly on social media all the time, man. But
then you just have that, you can then fall into that victim mindset of like feeling sorry for yourself and like, you know, but at the end of the day, listen, we've all got a fucking sob story, haven't we?
Yeah.
You know, we've all got reasons and not even excuses, we've all got a reason for every one of us as to how we can justify us staying stuck, justify us being miserable, justify us not, you know, aiming high or achieving things. We've all got a valid reason, no 100%. Doubt, for us to be able to do that. But then it's like, are you going to wear your trauma or your pain like a badge of honour for the rest of your life? No. Come on, you know?
Do you know what? Some people get addicted to like the dopamine you get from the sympathy, because sympathy gives you a little bit of the dopamine. You feel like people care. But when people feel sorry for you, it's not the same as people encouraging you. You know what I mean? People going, and trying to wrap a false arm around you. But because 90% of them are glad that it's you, and the other 10% don't give a fuck. I say to all my clients, don't post your business all over social media. Or if I see somebody that I care about on Facebook, write an essay about their lives and that, I'm directing them, going, do yourself a favour and take that down, because you in 6 months will be glad that you did.
Oh God, I'll be honest with you, that gives me the biggest tick. When I see people do that on Facebook, I'll be honest, I've been guilty of showing people before and going, look at there. Not mugging them off, but saying...
but everybody does it because you just know.
I've done it once. I've done it once before. I was raging. It was a couple of years ago. Never done it since, but I wrote this big thing on there. After my mate rang me, a good friend of mine, shout out Creeper, he spoke to me and he was like, basically said like, be careful how you're marketing yourself. You don't want to, you know, like just words of wisdom. And I did delete it. And after I thought, it was when I'd calmed down. Do you know what I mean? I deleted it immediately, but it was like, I was thinking...
You're doing it, though, when you, like... Women are guilty of that more than men. Because they're complaining about the relationships or the situation. Women are more emotional than men anyway. And when you've got no emotional outlet as a woman, you turn to the nearest finger. Normally, it's your phone that's stuck in your hand, you know what I mean? Next minute, before you know it, you're just venting, typing, and then you've slapped it on there for the world. Slapped it on there for the world to see. And all you're going to get is that you get the odd like or the odd little, oh, babe, it's not that bad. But it's just, it's all fake.
I hope you're all right. No one gives a shit.
No one cares, do you know what I mean?
No one cares, and
so the amount of energy it took to write the perfect post to tell how you were feeling and things like that. Like, I just think if you just put that same energy into actually getting a plan of how I'm never going to feel like that again.
Yeah.
People are mad.
What was it like, so how long have you been doing all this stuff then?
So I started...
When did you realise that I've got something here and this is helping other people? It's like, when did the penny drop? It was like, I'm going to really utilise this. This is helping others and me.
I've always been that person, who you can go to for advice, but I never used to follow my own. I just think it's...
Me and all, practice what you preach, people used to say to me.
I just think, like, some people in life are gifted, so if anyone's watching this and you want to know if you're gifted or not, you can tell by even all your life could be all a fucking mess. It could be upside down, you could be crumbling mentally and physically, but it doesn't look like it if someone looks at you, and you'll still make the people around you feel good. The people around you will still feel good knowing that you're on the other end of the phone. That's how you know you've got a gift. I can tell that you're like that. I'm like that myself. Do you know what I mean? So if you haven't got anything, you feel like your fucking life's crumbling, but if you can still make other people feel better, then that is your gift. So you need to hone in on that, and that's what I did. I just had like a wake up call one time, and it was just after loads and loads and loads of thinking and things like that. I'd done a lot of reflecting and a lot of fucking... just practiced a lot of discipline and spent a lot of time by myself. A lot of time by myself. Like, I was always like, couldn't be by myself, and I was always like getting defeated by things like lust and always wanting to be out and just chasing women and drinking all the time and just chasing all the wrong things and avoiding that fucking conversation with a person in the mirror. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, with yourself.
That's the biggest conversation you've got to have. But when you get that uncomfortable conversation out of the way, it's all uphill from there. Not saying you're not gonna hit things and you're not gonna come against like some trials and things like that, but that's how you unpack who you actually are. That's why it looks like now like people always say, oh, it's just dead natural how you talk and the way the way you are and the way you carry yourself. And I'm like, but you're looking at years and years of reflection. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it was just workout videos with big long speeches at the bottom. And I kept telling myself, I'm going to do it soon. I'm going to do it soon. I'm going to do it soon. Because I had a moment where I was like proper down, depressed, and I was suicidal, and I was in my house, didn't change. I didn't even brush my teeth for like 3 days. I was sat with an hoodie on in bed, just it was like a nice day outside, like it is today, and I was just debating my life. Do you know what I mean? And then I pulled up YouTube and found a video, and it changed my life, and it just motivated me. And then I've just always gone back to it. I've watched motivational videos now for like the last 10 years.
I love them.
They're unbelievable. But motivation's all right, but you've got to be able to act on it. There's no point getting all that feeling of motivation and then scrolling to the next one, and then scrolling to the next one. You've got to execute on those feelings. When you get that get up and go, when you feel that spark, you've got to fucking execute on that feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what it's for. Because people always say to me like, oh, I wish I had your motivation. I'm like, this isn't motivation. This is just a commitment and a promise that I've made to myself.
Yourself.
Of course. And until you do that, every single motivational video that kicks you up the ass, that's when you're supposed to make your promise. But people just go, throw it, and then
they just get that little in the moment
that
of
little
watching
buzz
it.
to feel like they're actually gonna do something one day, and then next minute, what's that funny video on TikTok? Or knockout videos or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, they're wasting the feeling that they're getting, because there's some people that won't be able to resonate with any quotes or anything like that.
Yeah, and I think people are so like, people distract themselves so much and think everything externally is, they give their time to and energy to, like that's so important. But it's like we were saying a moment ago, the most important relationship is the one that you have with yourself. But I feel that that's the one people are most afraid of.
Yeah.
So people will, like you were saying, like I've been like it, like parties, drinking, or I've been around people that I don't even really care to spend time with, or do you know what I mean? Like I do myself in, saying like, oh, I'll be there and I'll be there just because I didn't want to let anyone down. But I then realised that it was just because I'd been let down so much in my life. There was a part of me that...
You don't want to be that let down person, because when you know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of being let down.
Yeah, but really what I was doing every single time was I was letting myself down.
Yeah,
I was failing myself, trying to please everyone else. And it was like, that was why I was like that, because I'd been failed. But that, it's for other people, because I didn't want to be a letdown. So I was failed. So I didn't want to let other people down, but then I'm then letting myself down more. So it takes so much self-awareness to understand all this stuff that you can't do with worldly, desires and distractions around you, taking you from here. You can't do it. And the whole world is so distracted by things, and it's like, they allow themselves to be constantly distracted. And it's like, because it's hard, having like honest conversations with yourself and having to look at yourself and say, this is why I'm like this, that is why I'm like that is why I'm a bit of a people pleaser, or that is why I'm going to these parties, that's why I'm seeing all these birds, or that's why I'm chasing that's why, because you feel inadequate, because
you've got no standards for yourself. You've not set yourself no standards. You've not made yourself no promises.
Yeah.
Because when you get into those social circles where they encourage you to do all the wrong things, it's hard to set boundaries, because you've let the bar go so low.
Yeah.
So now you're scared to say, you know what, I'm not coming this time.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that this time. I'm just going to focus on me for a bit. Yeah. I'm going to go for a run on Sunday. I'm going to do this. And lay out a plan. Yeah. Because deep down these people around you, they're not going to support you. You'll get little smirks.
It's a fear,
Whenever
isn't
you
it?
start to try and do something positive for yourself, like everybody talks this shit about, you find out who your mates are when times are going rough. But when you actually aim at something so high, then you see who's really behind you. Yeah. And because you'll get the two types of people. You'll get someone that'll encourage you and like, yeah, go on, go for it, go and smash it. Yeah. And you'll get people smirking, going, who the fuck does he think he is? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's what I think you should do. Like when people always say, like, you find out who your mates are when things are going bad. Don't wait for things to go bad. Set some boundaries and set some standards. Shoot for the fucking stars, and then see who's actually behind you. Yeah. You'll find out who your mates are then, and people. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Your party mates and that will only encourage you to do the wrong thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's like I think when I find that you have people. Obviously, people that I know personally. Like, we'll take, before all social media and stuff like that, I found that, I had the most people around me and encouraging me, and, when I was at my worst stages and points in life.
Yeah.
you know, when I was at my most worst points, like mentally and in my life, the people that I actually genuinely knew, most of them were there when I was at rock bottom.
Yeah.
You know, and the minute you start doing a bit like better, don't get me wrong, this, you know, like with you, the social media, there's loads of people that are encouraging and supportive of the stuff that we do. But I found the people that I knew personally, that the more I became committed to my own personal growth and journey, the more I was fucking, people were dropping like flies, and it was like, wow, people become, you know, they become
intimidated by your growth,
yeah,
because you're
makes
setting
them reflect
yourself
on
goals,
themselves.
yeah,
their lack of,
yeah, exactly,
yeah, their lack of growth, they feel, like you said, they feel intimidated by yours, and it's like people were you know, more comfortable with, but about their self by seeing you at like in a low place. It makes them feel more. It's fucking really off key, that.
Yeah, it is. It makes them feel better about being on a shit situation with you. You know what I mean? We're on a sinking ship together type attitude. When really it's sad, man.
Yeah.
But you're like, your fucking like desire to have a better life and things like that just reminds them that they haven't got it. So they get intimidated by it and they shell up.
Yeah.
And people don't want to spend time with you and pull back and all that. And they go, oh, you've just been busy, so I've just been leaving you to it and things like that. When I'm like, or you'll see someone like, so what I find is when I see someone and they don't look well, do you know what I mean? And I'm like, what's going on with you, man? Have you been training? Have you been doing this? And they're going, oh, nah, I fell off. I've been doing this. And I'm like, well, you've got my phone number. You know what I'm doing. I'm going to be on this. So why not fucking come on the winning team with me instead of being a fucking loser? I'm showing you that it's possible. You know what I mean? To turn your shit around.
Yeah, straight.
But it's mad that some people just don't want to know. Like you can't force anyone to come with you. You know what I mean? You can only set a standard and try and be a leader. And those who get it, and those who don't.
Those who don't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad.
Have you found that you lost people, you know, in your transition, like, you know? Not necessarily, transition.
It is a transition, yeah, you're correct. It is a transition, yeah. I think, do you know what it was? It just highlighted things I already knew. Yeah. Because I'm around people that will happily see me out my head for 3 days.
Yeah, and won't give a shit.
Spoiling all my opportunities.
Yeah, wasting all your dough.
Trashing all my money, trashing all my health. They'll happily see me fucking on a downward fucking slope. Do you know what I mean? But then when you start climbing, like I said before, these people just scatter and disappear. They go quiet. First they hate. And try and throw shade, and the next minute, when they see that you're not giving up and you still keep going, they just watch from a distance. They don't even like your stuff anymore. They don't even try and share your stuff. Like I never ask anybody to share my thing. I used to when I first started. I was like, share that for me. Just give that a share, because I wanted to grow. Do you know what I mean? When I was on like fucking 600 followers, I was like, oh, give a little share. And but I'm asking people who I've bent over backwards for in the past, and then I'm getting.
And it's not a big deal, is it?
Yeah, it's not a big deal at all. Like when people pop up to me, if it resonates with where I'm going or what I'm doing, I'll share your stuff all day long. But it's the people who you grew up with. They don't want to share your stuff.
They don't.
It's mad. They just want to sit back from a distance, hoping that you'll probably fail.
That you'll fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not trying to help. They won't try and help you succeed. Because it's like they want you, like you said, they want you at the bottom with them.
Because then if you fail, they can say, I told you it won't work.
Yeah. And it makes them feel better about not trying.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, well, he tried and he's fucking fell off. So it makes them feel better about staying stuck. And do you know what? It's such a shame, isn't it?
It is a shame, but I don't see it as a loss, me. I see it as a blessing.
Yeah.
When people like, so it's like, say some of my close friends and they see me lean into someone and try and help someone and they see it bite me on the ass, which happens more often than not.
Yeah.
They're like, thinking, and I'm like, I'm glad. They're like, why are you so positive about it? I'm like, because it's one down. I don't have to.
For you,
I don't have to, Whatever's meant for me won't miss me.
Straight.
So I don't care if anybody doesn't appreciate the gift that I am and what I bring to the table.
Yeah, because you know what that is.
Then they don't deserve to sit at it with me, so I'm not going to cry about it. I'm just going to be like, right, sound. Every one failed relationship leaves the door wide open for another one to blossom. You know what I mean? So I don't beat myself up about it.
They say, the longer you stay on the wrong train, the more expensive it is to get off. And they say, we're not talking about trains.
I seen that the other day. Someone say that the other day.
Yeah,
it's a good one. That.
When I saw that, I thought that's so true. That could be like relationships, jobs, mindset, everything. It's so true. The longer you stay there, the harder it is to get off. And then I think that's what people then become accustomed to things. Listen, we all could. Like I've done. Obviously, everyone knows my story, but I mean, you know, and I found that sad when I was inside. You know, there was like a lot of girls and they give up on themselves. It's like, oh, I've got to stretch here, fuck this up,
you
fuck that
you
up.
did your thing before social media as well, though.
Yeah.
So like now it's a lot easier for people to reach out and connect and things like that.
Yeah.
Like even us today having this conversation, it was a 4-hour drive for me, but for the conversation and what it's going to bring to people, and the thing this podcast could help, even if it helps 3 people with one. Do you know what I mean? But like so I grew up before social media as well, and we didn't have all the access, and I didn't learn how to. I only really started to learn how to become a man. Like a real man through social media and the connections and the mentorships that I got from them, because for years, up until I was like to my late 20s, I was blaming my parents for the way I turned out. I was holding grudges against people. I was holding grudges, resentment against like my dad and my mum and things like that for not teaching me how to be a man. But then when I actually deeped it, I thought I was resenting them for not making me something that they'd never seen. They'd never seen. So how can I hate on someone for not making me be something that they didn't have a fucking clue?
And this is, do you know what? I realised this stuff a couple of years ago as well, because I used to hold a lot of resentments, stuff like that, to my, family and just people close to me and stuff like that, for the lack of certain things that I did and didn't receive. But then I think I was reading this book one day, and I thought that. It was like, I thought, wow, how, you've got to understand that. It really changed my mindset, because it was like, got to understand that I wasn't given that or taught that, because they never had it. They didn't know that to pass that down to me. So I'm holding on to all this resentment of, why am I not like this? Why do I act like that? Why do I see things like that? Because I've inherited that off them. But they've inherited that from their caregivers as well. They just did it. But then it was like, do you know what? I'm the one that's now got the awareness of this, so I'm going to break this cycle.
Unpack it. Yeah, of course. That's what a lot of people don't do. It's easier, but if you're a fully grown adult, you cannot blame your parents for the way you've turned out, because it's up to you then to take the torch and fucking unpack all the shit that you've been through and actually assess it and think, right, am I holding something against them that they don't even know how to fucking manufacture? Do you know what I mean? Like I was like holding resentment against my dad for the way he treated me, but then I looked and I was thinking, his dad died when he was a toddler, and his stepdad who stepped in was an abusive fucking violent drunk. So I'm thinking, somebody who's come from a like a house full of hatred like that, how are they supposed to teach me how to be loving or even accept love? Do you know what I mean? So I was being very unreasonable. And I guarantee there'll be a lot of people watching this podcast and they'll be still holding on to things from their childhood. But you're holding on to things that people didn't even understand themselves. You're expecting more from a situation than what was actually available to your parents and your family and things like that.
And then it's like, the longer you hold on to things, it's like the more power you're giving to it.
It's the same with anything that you've been through,
innit? Yeah. Crazy stuff, man. It's like, when you started getting into all this, was it because, like, did you do your own kind of like training and stuff like that before you, like with people, before you saw it in yourself to say, you know what, I'm going to do this? Did you go on any kind of programs?
So I've had a few mentorships like over the past 2 years. Like I paid for courses to do with like people. I've gone to like American coaches and things like that, because there's not many people doing like what we do in the UK. There's not motivational speaking events. There's not inspirational talks going on. They're very few and far between. So you have to start looking overseas. Again, the power of the internet, power of social media. You can tap in with people who are living a lifestyle you want to live and making a difference in the area that you want to make a difference in. And you can tap in with them and pay for their mentorships. But beforehand, if you're not going to do that, like I was saying before, just absorb some free content. Free content will change your life. Every single reel that you can go on, like on my page, it'll be a message that can resonate with someone that will spark a change. When I see people, when I'm out, or any messages that I get, and they come and approach me and say, oh, I've seen your video about this, I've totally forgot about it. Because it's just free. I'm just throwing them out there like that constantly. Do you know what I mean? So if you don't want to get a mentorship or whatever, go on YouTube, YouTube University. Do you know what I mean? Go on there. That's where I first seen motivational speaking and things like that. You can go on there for anything. People are going on there looking how to I don't know, like work things in the house, but they're not looking how to work the mind. You know what I mean?
Google everything.
Yeah, Google how to work your microwave, but you're not working.
Yeah, how long do I wash rice for?
Yeah.
Like what can I get Siri in different languages?
Like it's the biggest free. Stuff. Like YouTube is the biggest free how-to platform.
Yeah,
and it's just that people are using it for the wrong reasons. Yeah, like they want to know like cheat codes to like the technology in their house, but they don't want to know a cheat code to life. They don't want to know how to put learn how to put themselves first and the best foot forward. You know what I mean? I started learning learning off YouTube. And then I've just thought, I could do that. This isn't even like when I was saying about assessing your gifts in life. Like I wanted to be an actor. Like my passion is like performing arts. Like I love acting. I did it for years. Like went to like drama schools and things like that, and did an in-house theatre like performance and things like that. I've done quite a few extras works and things like that. Like,
cool.
And I did like private tutoring. I got into like one of the best acting schools in Manchester. But it was just like I was thinking, if I dedicate myself to this, I felt like I was pulling away from helping people.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just thought, nah, it's about if I've got a
When
gift
you
where
know,
if I can serve people and
Yeah.
if I can just speak to people and help them, then. Like, yeah, acting's cool, and to be a big actor and that would be absolutely amazing.
Of course it
would.
The
notoriety, and I could make a difference doing that through film.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I thought, like, if I really want this sense of pride and fulfillment, I've got to leave my mark on the world. And
straight.
how many late actors do you really remember? You don't really remember anybody.
So
do you know
true,
what I mean? But you remember like leaders and
people that have taught you something, people that have you've learned something from.
It's
You'll
how
remember
people
them.
make you feel. That's what they say, don't you? People are remembered by how
the
they
feeling.
made others feel.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I thought like the best way for me to do it now is just lean into this gift, start practicing speaking, and just go from there. And I've got like a few things set up where I'm going to be getting more like public speaking events.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you about that. Do you do any of that?
I've basically just got
because I'm into that.
I've got in touch with a PR woman, and she's got a team around them, and they help people go into like juvenile centres and things like that. So I'm gonna So I'm gonna be doing that. I've just got to get my feet wet. Like I've got.
You need to go to. There's the Public Speaking Association, Professional Public Speaking Association. I'm a member of that, and there's also Toastmasters. So they're like regular meetings that you go to, and they're all speakers. They're big conferences, but they're really, really great because some of them are really massive, speaks. They all speak on all different things, but you can learn, so much. I just talk, but when I started going to them, I learned the power of tone. You learn things like stagecraft. You learn the power of tone, the pauses, movement, things like that really adds value to, that really adds more to your words. Really, really great. So you should definitely get onto that, because it can get you, that stuff can get you, as well as the social media, so wide, such wide audiences, and it can get you in spaces that you would never have even maybe considered or wouldn't know where to start. Because they all know someone that knows someone that could hear you, or even just meet you and go, I know.
It only takes one person to hear you once. Like that's why I followed you, because I watched you on the James English podcast, and I found it, and I thought, you know what, she's real, so I thought I'll give her a little follow.
Yeah.
And how long ago was
big
that?
Up James.
And then big up James.
Big up James English. That was a couple of years ago.
Was that a couple of years ago?
Yeah,
like 3 years ago.
About 3 years ago now, yeah.
Yeah, you've come a long way since then, though, haven't you? Because you'd only just got out then, haven't you?
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, all it takes is for somebody to hear you.
Yeah.
And then resonate with you, and then doors open. Then, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just connect through socials and things like that, and then you can put some things together. That's what
definitely.
I'm trying to do.
Like I say now.
Yeah, 100%.
It's amazing.
That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna be going into like the probation systems and prisons and schools and things like that, and just trying to make a difference. You know what I mean? To make, like, so they always say like a wise man learns from his mistakes, but a wiser man can learn from someone else's mistakes. So if I can just be like not the fall guy, but like I can just be an example and prove that I can be a proof that like if you just dedicate yourself to something, it can change your life.
It can change your whole
even
life.
the way that
and
my
others.
attitude and everything's just completely changed. Like people that's why I think I get a lot of hate and a lot of backlash from the area where I'm from, is because people know the person that I used to be, and they can't fathom how much I've changed, but they don't understand like the groundwork that's gone into
you've
this.
had to do to get there.
They've not seen me like not go on holiday for 3 years and stay in and stay sober and get focused.
The early mornings, the late nights.
The early mornings, the late nights,
sacrifices.
Sacrificing weekends,
pressure.
Trying to fight my own lusts to go out, sleep around and things. All these natural things for a man, like to suppress them and actually focus on yourself.
The discipline.
It
takes. People don't see that. No, and they're the hard things.
They think that all this is given. Like the interview today, like it's not a gift. It's not a given. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course it ain't. You've drove down 4 hours. I've had an early night last night. Do you know what I mean? Like things that I know it may not be big
preparation.
Pills.
Listen,
of course it does.
I've not walked here, but it has taken. It's taken a lot of preparation. Do you know what I mean? And people don't appreciate it. You know, it's not that they don't appreciate it, they don't want to.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
They don't see it. They don't want to think about, them things, to understand maybe what goes into like certain things, to achieve certain things, to get things to certain level. Do you know what I mean? It's and they don't. And I think that's because they don't get it because they've not.
They just
done
don't.
It
some people just don't appreciate where you are because they think you got to your destination on an half-price ticket.
Yeah, yeah,
They don't think...
Bloody half price, mate. Double bubble, we paid. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, mate, and the rest, with interest, plus VAT.
Yeah, you know? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, it's mad, isn't it?
Seriously.
But they're not the people anyway. Like, you have your crowd, and you have your like your cheerleaders, and then you have your people who hate on you. It's just on part and parcel. You can't please everyone, and I think if you do try and please everybody, then you're gonna lose your authenticity, and people will see right through you. Like, I've got like mates who do like motivational speaking and things like that, like who I've connected with online, and they're like, oh, look at your followers going up, man. I'm sorry. You go, oh yeah, look at your followers.
Very.
Couldn't get my words out.
Yeah,
so,
oh.
So they'll see my like following go up, like, because every now and again you get a spike in your following, and they're like, oh yeah, last time I looked, you was only on this number, now you're on this number. Oh, I wish mine would do that. And I'm like, but you're not being your authentic self.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy, and he's one of the most funniest guys. He's got top banter. He's not afraid of using colourful language or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but then on his page, he speaks very clean and very well, and I'm like, show him your other side.
Yeah.
Show there's more to you than what actually meets the eye. You're like, you're an absolute blessing.
Yeah.
You're one of the most positive people on the planet. Like, absolute mate, he's a legend. But people don't want to see the real person. You know what I mean? That's how people click with. People
exactly.
click with realness. Do you know what I mean?
They do. Like I done some stuff before, and I had a mate. I was banged up with her, actually. She's great. She messaged me, and she's saying like, "Oh, love to see what you're doing here. Really proud of you. It's amazing." She was like, "But don't lose who you are."
Yeah.
She was like, "You're doing." I can't remember what it was. I think I cut some clips up of a talk that I done. She was like, it's not you. She's like, you're the girl that walks in the room, trips over something, makes everyone laugh. That, you know, she's like, that's you. That's why people like you. She says, you're trying to do it all. You can tell that you're scripting this and you're trying to do it all clean cut. And she's like, but you're authentic. You are that girl that trips up. You are the one that's late. You do make everyone, you do say crazy, random things. And you don't know what she said, but that is what makes you you.
Yeah.
She says, when you're trying to make it all clean cut and all that, just you take the edge off, and that is the edge that that draws people to you.
Yeah, it's the relatability. You know what I mean? They'll see that you swear that you're not perfect.
Yeah,
and it makes them feel good about not being perfect too.
Yeah,
and then they'll resonate with you and support you and get behind you. And I'd rather have like 100 people who love me for what I am than 1,000 people who love me for what I'm not.
For what
Do
you're
you know
not.
what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not real love, and it's not solid. And if you do, and if the mask does fall off, which eventually it will,
of course it will,
and the year you come out with some madness, they'll be like, that's not the, they'll backdoor it on you. Do you know what I mean? So the
and then they'll start coating you off. They'll start slating you for that.
Yeah, 100%.
How have you found? How have you found? Like the building your social media and stuff. Obviously, that must take a lot of you. You must live and breathe that.
Yeah, so people don't understand, like we were saying before, about the effort that goes into it.
Yeah.
To make fresh content every single day is a full-time job. If you went on my notes, it's just page after page after page after page of just little things. So if I hear something when I'm driving down the road, I'll hear a little phrase and I think, oh, I'll whack that in my notes.
Yeah.
And or I'll be talking on my phone, speaking like into I don't fucking spell that around. Yeah, so I'll be speaking into my notes constantly all day, every day. I do just as much writing, if not more, than I do speaking. And then I'm dissecting speeches and trying to like figure out better ideas. And I'm speaking to AI. Then there's a lot that goes into it. Then you've got to film and edit and make them crisp and clean, or like. Things just happen. Things get in the way, and not every day you feel like getting up and giving a motivational talk. Not every day you feel like tapping into your heart and getting deep. But that's what makes it. That's what makes it grow so much, and that's why people resonate, because you see the passion. You see me spitting all over my car in the videos because I'm talking about things I actually care about, and I'm talking about things that I've been through myself. And I really don't want people to watch videos and I really want people to watch my videos who are struggling and can relate to them and go, woof, and it sparks something in them, change and things like that. Like, there's nothing more fulfilling than when you see somebody, or you get a message of somebody saying, you know what, that last video, it touched me soul. I swear down, I'm never going to go back to that person, or I'm never going to do that again. I'm going to start getting my shit together. You've really motivated me. I get, for every one bit of hate that I get thousands of messages saying how I've saved people's lives, I've inspired people to do this.
That's what you have to weigh up.
It's not even close. It's not close, but because you've got a big heart, you're more susceptible to damage. So when somebody does say something like, I can have 1,000 messages messages saying that they love me, and then as soon as I get one hate, and it could be something
back, that's the one you're going to think about.
It could be like a half dyslexic thing that you don't even barely understand, but because I know they're shooting shots at me, and I think, who the fuck are you shooting a shot at, you little dick? And then, but then you have to just get over it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so everybody, and people always say to me, oh, don't let the haters bother you, and I'm like, but you ain't got any, so you don't know. People aren't attacking you every single day. Whereas if I'm under constant stress and attack, as well as the constant stress of getting myself out of bed early and getting the speech prepared for the day and things like that, like it is a battle sometimes. Of course, but you just get used to it after a bit. Like, I'm like fucking 500 videos in now, so I expect it, and people get it twisted. I say certain things for shock factor as well, and like I won't pull no punches, and I will touch on very sensitive subjects that people aren't talking about, because everybody likes to fucking accommodate people's shortcomings and be like, oh, it's poor you and fucking woe is me mentality, and that's one mentality that I adopted for years, and it never served me. So if I can do something, I can spark that in other people. You'll get some people triggered who will start shooting shots at me and telling me I'm a fucking I'm this, that, and whatever, slagging me off. But then for every one person that slags it off, I'll get somebody else that'll go, you know what? No one says it like you. Like I spoke. So I've got this community now of people that I help, and it's mainly women in the community. And when I'm coaching them or like one-to-one, I just speak to them like they're my mates. So I'm always fucking swearing, or I'm throwing empty threats at them, and we just laugh. So I'll be like that. Listen, if you don't get up today and do what you said you were going to do, I said, I'll drive down there and I'll slap you. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, fucking hell, I'm laughing. I'm going, look how professional I am. Do you know what I mean? Threatening to slap all my clients.
But then they feel better already.
We just have a laugh and it's just banter and a laugh and things like that. So like I was saying, you've just got to keep it real. So that's just what I try my best to do, is just keep it real. And it's hard getting attention and things like that, but it's just, you've just got to stick at it. You've got to be consistent. So the fucking, like, for people that are watching it, for people that are watching this episode and they're thinking about how am I going to grow my social media, just post your videos consistently. Because it's the things. So I put my heart into some things. I really touch on things where I feel like it's choking me up, and I can touch on a subject that's really, really close to my heart, and it won't get any views, but then I'll just post something on a whim while I'm walking, and it'll go viral. And I'm like, fucking mental, so you never know. You never know which clip's going to go viral. So you just got to keep posting on a whim, keep putting things out there.
It's the consistency. It's so vital.
It's a law of averages, in it. So the more you put out, one day it's bound to click. So
of course it is.
One of my mentors said to me, he said, let's just say, for instance, 1 in every 50 to 100 videos gets a spike on the algorithm or goes viral. How long is it going to take you to put them 50 to 100 videos out? Are you going to put 2 a day? Are you going to do 1 every 2 weeks? Like, how long? Do you know what I mean? So if I say you've got 70 videos till you go viral, how long are you going to chase to it, that 70? If you knew it was a dead cert, you'd probably do 7 a day for 10 days just to get that thingy. But people get disheartened. Like, don't get me wrong, it still disheartens me, because I think that is a banger, and I'll put it out there and I'll be like, you know what, that's proper. That like, people,
and it goes nowhere, and
especially when especially as a man, when you make yourself vulnerable online and it gets
putting your heart in it.
But then I just think, you know what, I remember the times when I had like 200 followers, and I'd get 1 like, 2 likes, a couple of people message saying, you know what, I like what you're trying to do, but now I'm fully doing it. Now I'm 3-4 years in. Now I'm fucking actually like coming onto podcasts, and I'm actually really putting myself out there and talking about mental health and things like that, and sharing my story and things like that. You know, it's
why do you feel that, as a man personally, from yourself, why do you feel that there is such a stigma around like men being vulnerable from yourself? I
don't think it. Do you know what?
Because there's so many different things that people say, but that all can assume.
It depends how people take vulnerability. Like, it's not a load of men in a circle crying, hugging each other like a fucking growing fucking breast. Do you know what I mean? It's just everybody saying, right, me too. Me too. I've been through it too. But it's okay to talk about your problems. Like, I did a video about it this morning, like, raising all this awareness is absolutely mint, but with no action plan behind it, it's the exact same as neglect.
It is.
There's got to be systems and there's got to be help. Otherwise, it's not support. It's not support. You're just highlighting people's problems without giving them a solution.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm all for raising awareness, and I'm all for saying, me too. Like, I'll put my hands in the sky. I'll tell everybody, there's times when I've wanted to blow my own head off. There's times when I went through like a 14-month period of self-harming and things like that, when I was bad on alcohol and things like that. I used to cut myself to ribbons, like, proper.
Did you? Is that why you got the tattoos?
But you won't think that's how I started getting them. You had to cover up scars, and then in the end. But what I mean.
But then you ended up liking them and all that.
Yeah, but because I didn't know how to channel my emotions. I didn't have any. There was no social media when I was doing doing that. There was no outlet. There was no men in my life. I was in a toxic relationship.
Right.
I was struggling with alcohol. I couldn't go to my dad because he weren't present. Like, there was nobody in my life.
Yeah.
Everybody that I ever looked up to was either in jail or they were all doing the wrong things. And the thought of going up, listen, I can't cope.
Yeah.
I can't cope. Because like, I didn't know how to channel my emotions. Do you know what I mean? There was times when I was on the deck and I never understood it at the time. Like, I've got pictures on my phone. Like, I like looking back on pictures because not only to reminisce, but to reminisce where I was at mentally and compare myself to how far along I've come. Like, people like to go, memories, but I like to remember what mindset was I in at that time. And then it's nice to measure how far I've come, because I used to look and think, the things I used to stand for and the things I used to believe.
Things I used to think then.
My self-talk, how negative it was and how little and inconspicuous I thought my life was. And how irrelevant it was. I'm thinking that no one had missed me if I did off myself. Like, that sort of mentality. Like, I've been to them lows. Do you know what I mean? So then, like, that's another thing that drives me with my content, because I think if I can just say that to people, like, because to look at me, you wouldn't think that it's someone who's just going to pour his heart out and someone who's going to cry about vulnerability and say he's not afraid of talking about self-harm and self-thinking. But, like, self-harm comes in many forms.
Of course,
like, some people think that it doesn't always have to be physical.
No
I
way.
just pushed mine to the point of where I actually wanted myself fucking
self-harm can be in so many ways. It can be like overeating, self-harm in ways, biggest, undereating.
Like, one of the
loads
biggest...
of like sex, like, you know. That can be like
you keep giving yourself away to people all the time.
And
you don't value yourself. And the same thing when we were talking about relationships before. If you're in a relationship with somebody who you know's not good for you and you keep going back, that is a biggest form of self-harm. Of course it is. That's self-harm at its finest, because someone's beating you up internally all the time, but you keep going back because your self-esteem and your self-worth is
so low. So you're then hurting
yourself.
Choosing to hurt yourself.
Yeah, you're literally voluntarily suffering.
Yeah.
So that self-harm in itself, going out and trashing your health every single weekend.
Yeah,
that's
but loads of booze.
Yeah.
That's self-harm as well. It is.
100%.
Yeah.
So but like, in terms of like men speaking up and speaking about it, see, everybody likes to talk about it, but then it's like, where's the action plan?
Yeah, it's true. Everyone likes to say, men be vulnerable and all of that, but then it's like, okay, what happens when you do that? What happens next? You just leave yourself to be...
You don't just put yourself wide open and say, look, this is all my flaws.
Then you're even more vulnerable.
How I'm feeling. But, like, where's the action plan?
Yeah.
Like, this is what I do. I can tell people how to turn it all the way around, because I've turned it all the way around myself.
Yeah.
I'm living proof that, it's okay to be vulnerable, but only for a short period of time. You don't wear your vulnerability as your identity.
Yeah, you don't stay in that vulnerable state.
No, you don't at all. You just address it, you get it out, and then you deal with it and channel it into other things, and then you realise that it's all just pent-up energy anyway. Yeah. You've just got to convert it into positivity.
You've just got to channel it in the right way,
and find your purpose and chase fulfilment and chase pride and build yourself up as a man from scratch. And it takes you to lose everything and to be on the bare bones of your ass to actually build yourself up especially as a man, into a respectable man. I didn't even know about what real masculinity and all that stands for until I actually went online and deeped it and actually started looking at all the areas where I was failing and going, no, you fucked it there, you fucked it there, fucked it there, and honestly, then now it's time to rebuild. How am I going to rebuild? Right, action plan. But people don't care enough.
Don't care.
They want to express vulnerability, but then when you present them with help, they'd rather prefer to stay looking helpless for the attention that they get.
Yeah, and it's like rock bottom's taught me things that mountaintops never could.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, honestly, it really, really has. And I think that sometimes that is where they're the places that you can learn, take so much from, that can give you so much. Don't you agree?
Yeah, 100%. Like, there's no better qualification than life experience. Like, there's people think that you're not qualified for certain things. Like, there would be a time when if I would have said to you a few years ago, you're going to be doing your own podcast, you'd have been like, me? Yeah. Like, I'm not qualified to do that.
Yeah,
when you're more qualified than the average person through your life experiences and things like that.
Definitely, yeah.
Like, people who don't understand the journey because they've not done the self-work will look at me doing the things that I'm doing going, he's not qualified, he's not been to... But no college or university could teach me the things that I've learned through the pain and the unpacking that I've done.
You can't buy... It's what I was saying to someone the other day. You can't buy life experience. Like, I remember when I first started going to these conferences, public speaking conferences. I'm telling you, I hated it at first. I felt like a fish out of water. They're all well spoken. They've all been to uni. They're from completely different walks of life to me. I used to purposely get there really late, so I'd miss half the day. And Yeah, and it was muggy, really, because I was only doing myself a detriment, because what I could, you know, there could have been loads, no doubt that there was things that I could have learnt in that morning session. Yeah. But I was so awkward with the networking part in the morning, knowing that I was just I had no relatability to these people that was there at all. I'd intentionally not get there. I'd intentionally miss them key moments just because I felt inadequate. Yeah. I felt
That's
awkward.
Like a form of self-sabotage, because you don't feel like you belong in certain rooms, when really, if you deep it like this, you're more qualified than anyone in that room. And who's to say anybody else in that room could deal with the struggles that you've had to deal with? Even the men in the room, do you know what I mean? They could have fucking...
Yeah, then I started like mingling and like talking to, you know, certain people that would go out of their way to make me feel comfortable, and I'd have chats with, and I was honest with them. I was vulnerable with them and honest, and I said, I just don't feel like I should be here. I don't feel like I fit in here. I know that I'm so different to everyone, and it just makes me feel away. And they was like, but you see that, Neah? They said, that's why you're here.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you're different. That's why you're here, because you're from different walk of life to everyone. That is your gift.
Yeah, of course.
That you need to utilise and understand that is why you're here.
Yeah, your bounce back ability and your resilience is your gift. Like I was saying earlier on when we was talking about, like, how do you know you're gifted? You know you're gifted because you can still go into a room like that and impact people despite all the shit you've been through.
Yeah,
like,
despite
you can
not being the same in any way.
They can judge a book by its cover or whatever, only to a certain extent, but they don't know the things that you've been through and still kept a brave face on, you know what I mean? And that's just, it's more of a testament than a detriment, you know what I mean?
Most definitely.
But we get it twisted when because we've not done that inner self-work and actually built up a solid relationship and started to love ourselves for who we are.
Be proud of who you are and where
we're putting ourselves down, and we're listening to the naysayers when we were growing up saying, oh, you'll never be nothing type thing, and then those little voices are playing in your head and you feel like you don't belong in certain rooms because you've not got a degree or you haven't got a two-parent background or you don't come from money and things like that, when really... they've missed out.
What I used to feel
you
like,
think that you've missed out, but they're the ones that have missed out from all the life experiences and things.
It's hard work to kind of try and like graft yourself away from like a certain reputation and things that are about you. It's hard work to do it in daily life. It's even a lot harder to do it on the net.
See, the things that what our pages have got in common, what I've noticed about yours, it's the content when you're being authentic and you're being genuine. They're the pages that grow slower. Like I'm a proper I'm a funny company. If I would have done it, if I would have done humour, I probably would have had like 10 times the following. But because I'm doing like heartfelt messages and trying to put positivity out there and things like that, it like hinders your growth. It's like the algorithm stands on you. Everyone around you wants to shit on you. People who know you from a previous life are like, that's not him. Call it, you get that fake accusations, the couple of little fucking threats here and there, whatever. But I think it just comes with the.
It does.
If you're trying to be a leader and you're trying to lead people in the right direction, you get attacked.
You know what? Because when it happened, it fucking hit me like a ton of bricks because I built that up and it was half my bread and butter. It really was. Do you know what I mean? Because this is when, not long after the James English had come out, everyone knew who I was. I was hairdresser.
That's how I seen you.
Yeah,
I added you on Instagram from that episode.
From that, So I was getting but I was still working a day job at this time as an hairdresser, and that went really big. So it was like I was getting fired a lot. The minute people knew who I was getting fired. So
what were they saying? Oh, we're gonna have to let you go because of the reputation.
No, they was making up stuff. But they couldn't say that, but I knew because I'd have like other colleagues saying, "Oh, I've seen this," and then I'd know then.
You knew
just
it was
a matter of time.
Yeah. Before you got pulled in.
Yeah, and I was getting let go, and it was happening. It was happening all the time, and it was really, really disheartening. So anyway, there was a point where I was relying. In the end, that was all I had was the social media because I was grinding on that, but because I was constantly between jobs, that was a big part of like my income and everything. And then got hacked from it, whatever. And then what happened? Yeah, my mate was like, "Why didn't you get it back?" I went, "Do you know what?" Because I sat there and I really thought about when it had gone. And I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. Yeah. You know, even if you don't understand it at the time, I'm a big believer in that one day it will make sense.
Yeah, of course it will.
And then I said to her, I assessed it and thought about it and I thought, where have I got all them followers? Why are all them followers following me? And does it align with who I am? What my values are and what I'm trying to, what I'm passionate about and what I believe in and what I'm trying to aspire for and the stuff that I'm doing. And I deeped it and I thought, nah, they're all following me because of clips that have gone viral about me talking about some nutty shit I've done. Or stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So they're following because they want to hear that. Tell me more about that. And that's not stuff that I'm aligned with now. Or I'm not trying to glamorise shit like that. Do you know what I mean? So I said to her, I just thought, fuck it. Then I started a new one because I started the new one to see what I could do as my authentic self now. I said, and I drastically noticed in the views, the amount of people. It's fine because, like, I don't care, but you do really notice because when I'm all that Essex bad girl and all this nutty shit, everyone's on it. When it's about Neah
people
inspired,
like the chaos, don't
they love it. The algorithm loves it. Everyone loves to repost it. Everyone wants to hear all the details about it. When it's like, no, manifest this and get yourself out of that, and you know all this stuff.
Stuff in
people don't give a shit, darling.
They want drama, man.
Yeah. How can you get taken seriously in, you know, certain, like, the spaces
I had a guy,
now?
so I was coming out of Tesco, ran in there for a piss after I filled my car up, and I heard a guy going, "Oh, where's the nearest cash?" Yeah, this morning, where's the nearest cash machine? That one's busted. And I walked up to my car and I thought, nah, someone just told me go back and help him. So I went back and said, if you want, I said, I've got some cash in my car, you can send me whatever you need.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
He's like, I'll be fucked to like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, go on then. So I brought him over to the car. And he's like, what do you do? And I was like, I'm a lifestyle coach, but I do like fitness, I do mentorships, I've got fucking a community group for mental health, and I've got loads of courses and things like that. I said, he went, oh, so if I Google you, then what'll come up? And I went,
did he?
I said, maybe something from my previous
life.
life.
Bits and bobs.
Yeah. I said, but he got me up straight away on the Instagram. He went, because he seen me, obviously, my bank details, and then he's put my name in while he was stood right next to me. He went, is that you, Peter Geno's? And I went, yeah. And he's like, yeah, mate, I'll check you out.
I love that.
He went, you saved my life today.
Nice one.
And I thought, and then I got in the car and it looked, and it was saying I was going to get here at fucking 1 minute to, and I was thinking, look at me, good deeds, just going to get hit by a bus here now. So I'm like, driving like a lunatic to get there. But sod's law, though, innit?
Yeah,
when you stick your neck out for someone else, you just got to be prepared to get it fucking shot.
Yeah. But you know what I think's the sad thing, like, quite a sad thing about that? It's like, when you do stuff like that for people, it's like, the sad thing about like society now is like, they're really shocked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's so rare for people to like help you out and to like.
Especially people that are like us, who like you can tell we're a bit rough and ready. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he was like proper. When I went, excuse me, and walked over to me, he was a bit like looking at me
God,
like a bit.
Hell, is
like,
this?
I think I wanted to take his money, not helping
him
give his money. You know what I mean? He's like, his little bag on. It's a little fat guy like that. It was, but it's good though, man. I like shocking people with kindness.
Yeah.
Because when they don't expect it to come from someone that's got this fucking, do you know what I mean?
Like, because you're teaching them.
Like people just don't like to like they don't see the gift inside you because of the wrapper that it comes in. You know what I mean? So they're like instantly judge you type thing. Do you know what I mean? So I get loads of like fulfillment out of fucking
proving them wrong, shocking them.
Do you know what I mean? And walking off like that, thinking, yeah, you bastard, you thought I was a cunt.
You'd have been fucked about me, and you thought I was a cunt.
Say words of shit when they're not there. I'm like, yeah, you fucking maggot. You thought I was a rat. Look out.
Yeah.
I'm driving, buzzing with my little self.
You were pushing your car down round for me.
Yeah. Fuck, you know.
I've been really looking forward to doing this with you because I knew that we'd have such a great conversation. Obviously, you followed me from James English. I obviously see some of you. Oh, we spoke before about the Cambo.
Yeah.
Do you remember? You sent me the photo. Shut up. They told me I'd look like a frog. Thank God I didn't. Did I?
Yeah.
You proper looked like one.
Yeah.
Did you go green?
I looked like it aged me. Have you seen those like age filters when they put like when they
like your face drops and that?
How fucked is it? Oh, like my eyes look like I'd had a stroke and that. Oh, it was bad.
That's
you know.
nutty. That.
And I went back for a second time.
Did you? I was going to go back for a second time, but I really didn't like the purging, the sick bit. But I've done the DMT. I love that. I bought mushrooms a few times since then. That's great stuff. I'm going to have a go on the old micro dosing.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that?
I got my mum some. My mum struggles with mental health and things like that. So I got her off. There's a guy on Instagram called Dr. Shrooms. And, so he sent some over.
Did he?
Through one of his mates, they sent him over like a month's supply. I think it was like 4 days on, 3 days off for a month.
Okay, is that how it works? I was going to look into it.
And I don't know whether it was a placebo effect or whatever, but she was up and out after a week. After the first week, I could see her changing her.
Really?
And she was gutted when they ran out, but she had a better space now. But like I was thinking that might have been the way to go to kick her up the arse. Do you know what I mean? So like you've got someone, if you feel like you need to kick into that extra gear, you can always try them, can't you? Do you know what I mean? And
that's what I felt like. Hence why I done the Cambo. I needed that kind of.
It's a detox, isn't it?
And I needed a kick as well.
Yeah.
Of like, I don't know, like detox for some things spiritually.
It's a medicine and things like that. And it's supposed to help you get rid of emotional things and things like that.
Yeah.
DMT did that for me. So
DMT's great.
So I went to woods with one of my mates, and he's like mad into spirituality and things like that. And I said he was before I became a Christian. Like I was into like.
Oh, were you a Christian then?
Yeah.
Did
you start getting baptized tomorrow?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up! Oh, amazing.
I know, it's amazing.
So what did you start going into the Christianity when you was doing this for a while?
I was.
This is amazing. This is so beautiful. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Honestly.
So I was into spirituality at first.
Yeah.
And I was like, always the universe, and things like that. And
I'm into all that.
See what it is with that? You get mad obsessed with like the angel numbers and all these things, and it almost becomes a superstition. Do you know what I mean? And they always say superstition is like a disguise of fear. Right, so like you're always thinking like, and it takes over your mind, and you're always thinking everything spiritual and things like that.
Yeah, or like that's been sent, that's this, that's that.
And then it was just like so many things, so many signs, and so many like things that I can't ignore. Like some of the things that I've, even just like the things that I've got out of unscathed is enough proof. And I think that I'm living proof myself of the things that how I've been turned around and still been managed to like exercise the gift that I've got and help many
doing God's work, darling.
Yeah, I just think it's got to be God's
the
work.
Message.
So then I did a bit of like theology and looked into different religions.
What's theology?
Theology is where you look into different religions and like
I've done that.
Weigh them up and see the pros and the cons.
Yeah, I've done that with a few.
See the rules and things like that and what they resonate and things. And then I met a guy on a night out. He's my friend now. Shout out Niall.
Shout out Niall.
So I was on a night out and we was walking down a corridor and I just seen this black guy walking towards me. And then
you wanted to tear up, dodging him.
Yeah, but he was tall and like, so I've gone to step right, he's gone to step. You know when you do that and you
step.
And then we just laughed.
Okey-cokey.
Yeah, we just laughed, hugged each other for about. We was holding on for like a bit too long. It was a bit weird. And then I just felt some mad like energy off him. So then we was talking. Oh, wow. Then we exchanged details. I never really was in touch, and then one time he's put a video up on a Sunday at like 12:30, and it looked like a rock concert. Have you ever been to a Christian church?
Yeah,
had a
happy
band,
clapping, what a vibe!
Absolutely jumping.
Tambourines,
I messaged him, mate. Chill out, mate. It's a Sunday at 12:30. What you on there? Thinking he was fucking partying or at a rave.
You're still out.
And he put, "This is church," and I was like, "Never." And he's like, "Come." He's like, "Come," and then I came, and then the first time I came, it was just like it was a lot to take in because it was like
overwhelming.
It was like 1,000 people in there.
Yeah.
It was big, so it was really
also
overwhelming.
You're not used to it as well.
And then the second time I went, he was like, they just said, we're just going to invite some of you up to the front to say a prayer at the end. So I've got up to the front
and
so
did you get blessed?
I walked to the front and then something just came over me where I was nearly in floods of tears.
Really?
My mate's seen me go up, so I walked off on my own. My mate's seen me come up and he's come up. And he wrapped his arms around me, and then the pastor's jumped off the stage and put his hand on me and stuff, and they said a prayer.
Like healing you.
I know, mate, I was in floods of tears.
When was that?
I felt something come over me so much.
Really?
And the pastor said to me, he was like, after at the end, when everyone was leaving, the pastor's come over to me. He said, I've seen you come in. I've noticed you. I recognise you from your tattoos, funnily enough. I go to church in shorts and t-shirt. Me, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I just what I am as I am. Do you know what I mean? Take me as I am type thing. So I went there and he said, I've noticed you from your tattoos and I've been wanting to have a conversation with you. He's like, do you mind if I just pull you to the side and pray for you? So I was like, yeah, of course.
Oh, beautiful.
And so he's put his arm on me and he was like, I just want to pray for this man and may you do your work and help motivate and inspire loads of people and bring and I was thinking, how the fuck?
Oh wow!
How does he know? It's like he knew.
He knew.
It was like he knew. It's like whatever's holding him back, let him be himself unapologetically and things like that. And it just and it proper touched me. I can't remember exactly word for word what he said, but he basically it's like he took a peek into my life. Yeah. And then basically just
he felt it.
Yeah.
He felt it. He knew that you was. It's like that that tennis ball. Tennis ball thing, because I've done that, looked into loads of different religions, and then I've going down like the spirituality route, and then was doing like the camp and all that stuff and stuff like that, just trying to learn as much as I can from so many different things, figuring it all out, seeing what like you said, what really resonates with you more, and then it's like that tennis ball effect, isn't it? So I can imagine that when you was going into the church, because I've done a lot of like palm reads, cards, I've done all sorts of stuff to search for guidance, answers, understanding.
You're searching the unknown for an answer that it is out there. And some people do like to think that they found it in spirituality, and I don't knock it. And some people want to go. So like, I'm not saying I'm not going to ever force anyone to be a Christian. Do you know what I mean? That's a decision I made for myself through the research I did myself. And what I would say to anybody watching is, I understand why not.
Yeah.
Especially if you come from a rough background, because people get it twisted. They think faith's delusion and prayer's begging when it's not. Yeah. Faith's trust and your prayer's just a conversation. Faith's a relationship and your prayer's just a conversation. And that's all it is. And when you take it as it is, it takes a lot of pressure off it, because let's have it right. You don't, the idea of lying down on your knees and going like that to pray to a guy who's got long hair down to his shoulders and wears a towel or a rag. It's not gangster. It's not cool. So that's why loads of kids, it's not promoted on the streets. Like I come from
not looked down upon, but
it
like
is looked down upon. You seemed
almost embarrassed.
You seemed as geeky and something you should be ashamed of, when really it's not. It's like. But you can see why, because all the people that we used to look up to when we were kids were big, massive, like ex-cons, drug dealers, fucking arm robbers, whatever, people who were violent people. I grew up looking at, like, watching Mike Tyson on his knockout spree. Like, you compare Mike Tyson to Jesus Christ, look at them both. Like, you can see which one would be appealing more to the younger generation. Do you know what I mean? And then you build up this thing in your mind where it's not for you before you've even leaned into it and asked for it. But when you do actually open them doors and open up your heart, you actually see that, like, that's the missing piece to the puzzle.
Because that's all ego, isn't it?
It is ego.
It is.
But that's one thing what my faith's done for me. It squashed my ego, and everything that happens to me now, I know it's part of my story, and I know it's been given to me as a gift, so it takes a lot of stress off. Like, I used to be obsessed.
It's meant for you,
I used to be obsessed with, like, where I am in life financially and things like that. It used to drive me mad, where I was contemplating doing mad things to get paid.
For real,
and then I actually thought, you know what? Like, I don't need to do that, because it's going to come to me. All I've got to do is just be a genuine good person.
Won't pass you.
And every single time I get tested, I think, right, because this is me, a chance to prove that I'm serious about my faith. Like, some people will do something to me where it would 6-7 years ago, I would have probably gone and done something physical about it. Whereas really now I think, no, that's a test of my character to show that I'm disciplined and things like that.
Yes, exactly. And you stay true, aligned with your authentic self, God's word, rather than acting on your ego, which is just a false created version of you by your experiences, society, all that. I mean, it's not.
One of my mentors said to me, he said, every single person has a conversation with God. It's so some people just leave it till the last day of their life. So some people leave it till they're on the deathbed. Everybody opens up the heart to God, but some people will leave it till the very last days of their life. Do you know what I mean? Or only when you're in a crisis. And like my best mate is like my brother. His missus said to me once, I was in the car with her, and I said, I just feel like when you just pray all the time and like nothing really happens, does it? And she was like, Peter, do you know them when you get them guys in your phone book and they'll ring you, and every time when the name's flashing up, you know they're going to want something from you. And he was like, yeah. So he's like, so imagine controlling the whole of humanity. Imagine that, and everyone's just asking you for things all day long, every day. He went, how's supposed to put fires out in everybody's life? Some people have got to learn from their own mistakes and things like that.
Learn to avoid it.
Yeah, and actually realise that we are on a journey and things like that. So I think that faiths give me that open-mindedness, do you know what I mean? And it's just grounded me a lot, and it's dulled me ego. Don't get me wrong. There's still a lot of fire in my belly, and there's still things that I want to do when certain people will disrespect me and things like that. But
always will be. We're in an imperfect world. You're always going to be imperfect.
I'm the biggest fucking imperfection you got going. Do you know what I mean? But I embrace it now.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm so open and speaking about how to deal with certain situations now, because I've taught that much shit online. I can't start going and terrorizing people and doing things. I'm biting at every little single fucking bit of fucking.
But that wouldn't even sit right with you now.
It wouldn't,
because it's not what you're aligned with now.
Yeah, the amount of guilt and things that take over my
the conscience and how when you become so aligned with your true natural self, the guilt and the conscience and all that over them things. Even if you did do it, which you wouldn't, but like it's your battle at times. Even if you did,
when we was just talking then about your energy and things like that, like, and spirituality and stuff, there's a frequency chart, and right at the bottom of the frequency chart is like guilt and shame. So if you're gonna feel guilty, like guilt is one of the lowest vibrations you can feel. So I'd only feel guilty if I went and physically hurt somebody, because that would make me, do you know what I mean? It wouldn't make me feel good. It wouldn't make me feel satisfied.
No way.
So then I've got to think that's the devil, or that's the enemy trying to lure me into those low vibrational feelings when I've done so much work to get my frequency to a level. To get me high. I'm not going to let anything drag me down, especially disrespect from someone else.
Exactly. Lowering yours, you're then bringing your energy down to their low level energy that's throwing you the hate or whatever in the first place.
Your character and your standards have got to be stronger than anybody's disrespect.
Yeah, exactly. And they've got to be defined by you, not other people's actions.
Exactly, 100%. But yeah, definitely. I just think faith's just been something that it's still new. Do you know what I mean? And I still not got the swear. I keep seeing people and like, there's a guy that goes to my church and he always tells me to stop swearing, but he's like, But he's like a reformed character. He's like 50, but he's absolutely massive. Like that. He's like not someone I would argue with. Do you know what I mean? And that's seen me like that's. I was only saying it the other day. Like I always seem to pay more attention to people who are like a physical presence. I don't know why. Like, do you know what I mean? If he was a little fat, I probably wouldn't listen to him. But because he just keeps turning up randomly in places. Because I live in central Manchester. He's turning up and he's like, I've seen you on your videos, man. You need to just stop swearing. And I'm like, stop telling me what to do. I won't say it to his face, but I'm like that thinking, fuck that.
This is a geezer from the church?
Yeah. And I think, so he popped up in church out of nowhere, and then now he's just popping up
following
in
you
like
around the
town
town.
places. And I'm thinking, he's God put this guy in my life to tell me to tone down my swearing. And then I'm like, I'm having a battle with myself all the time, thinking, nah, because the F word's part of me. Like, I can't go fucking sentence without swearing, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I just think, so I'm just still trying to figure myself out as well. Like, it's a journey, innit? Do you know what I mean? It's an elimination process as well, like growing into a person that you want to be. It's an elimination process, like we were saying before, about eliminating the friendships that are no good for you, eliminating toxic relationships, and eliminating bad habits and stuff like that.
And that's the thing, and that's what I think people think as well. It's like they can have an idea of who they want to be and where they want to be, and they can put like a plan together and to structure of how they're going to be that person, how they're going to achieve that or get there. But really, you can't be one way, want to be another and have another life, and then just, have that along with you have to swap. Yeah. You've got to like knock that out, put that in, chip that out, put that in. It's an elimination process in the change. You can't be that one person and then take all that on as well, because they can't coexist.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. I said it on a video the other day, like, people like, I keep wedging the foot in a door that God's trying to close in their life and wondering why no other doors are opening. Do you know what I mean? So like, if you're holding on to something that's bad for you for so long, how do you expect any more blessings to come on your plate? Do you know what I mean? It don't work like that. You've got to be willing to let go. That's a big part of life, letting go.
Yeah, and that's a hard thing for people, because they become so, it becomes so much part of, they think it's their character, they think it's who they are, their identity, these beliefs or these patterns of behaviour and stuff like that. And people are scared to, because it's feel like a loss.
You're intimidated by the unknown, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Because it's all new, and it is scary. Like, and don't get me wrong, if your self-talk's not on point, like you have doubt. Like, I have self-doubt every single day. Yeah. When there's the times when I'm gonna put videos together some days, and I'm like, who the fuck's gonna listen to you? Who do you think you are? Like, I've got them kind of things. They'll still go around in my head, and I've been doing it years now, and I'm good at it. So like, you'll always have that. That's just natural. But it's if you listen to that voice for so long.
Yeah, exactly. How you feed it, if you let it live.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. But I've just. I don't know what I was going to say then. My mind just went blank,
What inspires you?
What inspires me? Yeah. Just helping other people. I was talking, I went to breakfast this morning with my mate, and I was talking about it.
God, lucky for you. I'm starving, darling.
Sorry. I was saying it, I said, as rewarding, as fulfilling as it is, there's nothing more fulfilling to me than seeing people that come from the same walk of life as me come over and go, you know what, I like what you're doing type thing. It helped me. And I hear other men, like, so I get approached by men who you would look at and you won't think they would ever express vulnerability, because I've created a safe space for them to do so. That it's a beautiful thing. That's what I mean. And I was saying it like once, I was sat in a cafe with one of my exes, and I was just sat there, we was having some food, and I used to have a bit of trouble years ago, and 4 guys come walking in, of like familiar faces of like who was involved in this beef or whatever. They've come walking into this cafe, and I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna go pear shaped. She's not got an absolute clue, little innocent thing. And I'm looking around on the table, I'm thinking, shit, I've got a plate and a fork to my name. What we're gonna do here?
Oh God!
Thought I was gonna get done in, and then one of them just gone, Peter, like that. So I've just turned around and I've gone, what? And he's gone, are you an influencer now? Yeah. And I went, doing a little bit, and he went, nah, you know what? He went, I've seen a couple of your videos, mate. He went, you talk a lot of sense. He went, yeah, put his hand out like that and shook my hand, and I just felt like so calming. I thought, wow. I thought I was going to end up on the news.
Close call, covered in beans and eggs.
But it's just good to know that, like, I can be proof that, do you know what I mean? And I do sometimes take it to God to people.
You're even inspiring people that.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm not saying live how I live. Do you know what I mean? Do as I say, not as I do. But like, if I can change a couple of people, then I've won. Then that's what inspires me, knowing that I can just lean into this gift and make a positive difference in the world.
Most definitely, I love that. It's been absolutely amazing to have you. It's such a great chat.
Worth every minute of the drive.
You know that. High five. Keep inspiring. Keep inspiring. Keep at it. And I'd love to see how. Going forward, I think we could definitely do some stuff together, like in the speaking stuff.
100%.
Stuff like that. Definitely do some work together, even if, we'll look into, obviously we'll speak after this, another time, you know, we'll put some stuff together. I definitely think, you know, I'm about all that as well. You're inspired, unapologetically inspired voices. Obviously, that's where we are. That's what we do. And you're about that. And I just love it. And it's like, you know, we need to unite together. All of us do, to spread more of a message, you know,
use
get
our
louder
reach, combine our reaches together in it and see what difference it can make. Yeah,
definitely, man. I love that. So it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Shout out, look at the camera, shout out your Insta, shout out all your handles.
So all my handles are Peter G Knows on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, things like that. So yeah, just catch me on there. I've got loads of courses, communities, coaching offers, anything you want, or just come and soak up the free content. Come and get some value for free.
Yeah, straight. Because this is what we're saying, guys. You know, there's so much out there for free as well. So there's no excuse to, you know, like, don't allow yourself to stay stuck. Like, do better, be better, feel better.
Exactly.
And we love that. So remember, to inspire others, you have to inspire yourself first. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and follow Peter and continue the journey. So be inspired.
Living my best life. Oh.